Hello and welcome to AutenMath. In this edition of AutenMath, we're going to tackle a couple problems from our geometry section 1.2 in measurement of segments and angles. So question number 19 says angle ABC and angle CBD have the same measure. Okay, so the measure is the same. If angle ABC is 3x divided by 2 plus 2 and angle CBD is 2x minus 29.5, is angle ABD a straight angle? Well, the key to this problem is to figure out what x is, solve for x, and then plug it back into the values to see if these angles, given that they're the same measure, are both 90 degrees. Because we know that if we have two 90-degree angles, those two 90-degree angles will comprise a straight angle. All right, so we go through the problem. 3x over 2 plus 2 is equal to 2x minus 29.25. And I'm going to go ahead and subtract 1.5 from both sides, and then add 29.25 to both sides, and I end up with 0.5x is equal to 31.25. Then I solve for x by multiplying by 2, and I get x is equal to 62.5. I plug 62.5 back into one of the two equations. In this case, I'm going to plug it into the equation for angle ABC, and I get 3 times 62.5 over 2 plus 2. And that answer, if you do the calculations, comes out to be 95.75. So given that the two angles are the same measure, and given that they're both 95.75, the total measure of the angle adds up to be, I believe, 191.5, which does not represent a straight angle. In the second question, we're asked to change 15 and 2/9 degrees to degrees, minutes, and seconds. So I know that I have at least 15 degrees, and then I also have 2/9 of a degree. So the question is, what does 2/9 of a degree represent in minutes and seconds? So the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply 2/9 times 60 minutes, and I end up with 13.3 repeating minutes. So now I know that I've got 15 degrees, and I have 13 minutes. Then I have a portion or a fraction of a minute, 0.3 repeating. So 0.3 repeating is just 1/3. I can multiply 0.3 repeating times 60 seconds, and I end up with 20 seconds as my result. So this actually should be minutes and 20 seconds, and that is my answer. 15 degrees, 13 minutes, 20 seconds. All right, last problem. I need to solve for x and y. I'm given that angle TRS is equal to 2x plus 5y. And I know that it's a straight angle because I have given in the diagram that those two angles are right angles. Two right angles combine to that straight angle. And angle XRS is 3x plus 3y. Angle TRS is a straight angle, as I've mentioned. And angle TRX is a right angle. So I know that angle XRS is a right angle as well, or its measure is 90 degrees. So I start with XRS equal to 90 degrees, and I represent now the equation of 3x plus 3y is equal to 90, and I solve for one variable, and that one variable is going to be x. So I know now that x is equal to 30 minus y. So I subtract 3y from both sides. I end up with 3x is equal to 90 minus 3y. I divide by 3, and now I have x is equal to 30 minus y. Now, given that 30 minus y is equal to x, and I know that TRS is equal to 2x plus 5y, I know that 2x plus 5y is equal to 180 degrees as given as part of the problem, I can rewrite the equation on the right-hand side as 2 times what x is, 2 times x, 30 minus y, plus 5y is equal to 180, and then simplify from there. Now I have 60 minus 2y plus 5y, which is 3y. So 60 plus 3y is equal to 180, and y ends up being 40. Now I can plug y in for, I can plug the value of y back in and solve for x. And I end up getting x is equal to, this should be negative 10 for my answer. So y is equal to 40, x is equal to negative 10. Now, the part that most students have a problem with is when they get to the point where they have a value of a negative value for some variable, They may decide that it cannot be the case because angles in general in this course do not have negative values. So what we need to do is we need to plug the value of x and y back in to make sure that the angle itself is positive, not a portion or variable that represents or the solution of one of the variables as a negative value. So if I plug in 40 for y into XRS, the equation for XRS, and negative 10 for x, I end up with 90 as a result. If I plug in 40 for y and negative 10 for x for angle TRS, I end up with 180 degrees as a result. So in fact, the value for x can be negative 10, even though the measure of the angles themselves are not negative.